Speaking at an extraordinary first-ever Russia-Africa summit in the southern Russian resort of Sochi, Russian President Vladimir Putin said he wanted trade with the continent to double over the next 4 to 5 years. He announced that Moscow had written off over $20 billion of African debts.
Our country is taking part in an initiative to ease the debt burden on African countries. The total sum of debt written off currently amounts to $20 billion.
Trade between Russia and Africa has more than doubled in the past 5 years to more than $20 billion. And Putin said his government is looking to double this trade. Moscow was a crucial player in Africa in the Soviet era, backing independence movements and training a generation of African leaders.
Free South Africa is what it is today, largely also because of the support that we got from the people of Russia.
The first Russia-Africa summit is part of a Kremlin drive to win businesses and restore influence that faded after the 1991 collapse of the Soviet Union. Back then, the Kremlin backed leftist governments and movements across the continent throughout the Cold War. Putin congratulated Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed on winning the Nobel Peace Prize this month, hailing his efforts to make peace with longtime rival Eritrea, and discussed cooperation in defense, education, and increased trade relations.
I would like to thank the government of Russia for always standing alongside Ethiopia when it was forced to defend its independence and sovereignty. We acknowledge Russia as a key partner in our development endeavors in Ethiopia.
The president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, said his country is keen to strengthen the relations between the two countries.
It's the reason that we are here in Russia, because we want to strengthen the relations between our two countries. You spoke about an investment that still needs to increase, and we are takers. We are here to drive Russia's interest in our country.
Russia is Africa's largest arms supplier. Currently, Russia has military cooperation agreements with more than 30 African nations and says it wants to help in combating extremism, including exchanging information between their security agencies. Critics of the summit say this is in many ways borrowing from China's playbook. Even though Russia cannot match China's economic might, it is prepared to support African leaders with controversial human rights records in exchange for access or to the continent's riches. In 2014, U.S. President Barack Obama hosted dozens of African leaders in Washington, D.C. to discuss trade, business opportunities, and security issues. A $33 billion trade and investment pact was announced to spur African development and support tens of thousands of American jobs. Paul Ndiho, VOA News, Washington.